How's it going, folks? It's Rob here. Thought I'd do a little bit of a catch-up clip, just showing you what's growing on out here in the front yard veggie patch. Now we're coming towards the end of winter. Just to let you know, it's around about 24 degrees here today, so a beautiful day here in southeast Queensland, Australia. What I'll do is I'll grab the camera and we'll start up with the asparagus and we'll work our way along to the bananas and give you a bit of a gander as we go. So here at the start of the gardens along the front fence we have our scruffy asparagus beds. Now these beds here really do need to be clad with some timber. As you can see, the paint isn't really sticking to the IBCs that well. These beds here had an outbreak of curl grub in them, which are basically beetle larvae. I posted a clip on them a while back now. I haven't been able to get them under control, and as a result I haven't seen any asparagus develop in this bed as of yet. I mean, having the warmer climate we have here, we should be seeing some spears by now. I was given the heads up on a product called Eco Grub, which apparently is safe for vegetables, and there's also a few others that are out there on the market as well. So we might dose this bed up well and truly, and also the next one, because I actually have a feeling they may be in there as well. So it's something I definitely need to get on top of, otherwise we're not going to have any asparagus. The Cayenne Peppers here, or chilies, we didn't trim them back. We probably should have trimmed them back for winter, but we decided to leave them go. That way we can just pop out and grab chilies whenever we want them. We've still got some nice plum-pons on there that we've been throwing into curries, and we've already got a new flush of flowers just under there. Then there's a few green fruit on already, so these little plants in this position will pump out the fruit 12 months a year for us. And there's one of its offspring over there that was self-sown. So I'm actually thinking that maybe I should do away with this bed being an asparagus one altogether, and we might put a couple of chilies along the front there and maybe something else along the back, because it gets the afternoon shade from this fence during summer. So a bit of a roundup on that one. Here we have an eggplant. I've left that fruit on there because I've got a bit of a seed saving thing I want to do with it down the track. We have got a few ferns, as you can see, from this asparagus bed, but they're male ones too by the look of it, which comes in handy. Unfortunately, no spears of any decent size, and this bed has been fed up as well. So I have a feeling there may be something in there that is affecting these crowns as well. On the plus side though, now that things are warming up, we've got a load of these little baby ferns popping up. Where's my hand? Oh, there we are over here. We've got some baby ferns popping up there, and also down here as well. So we will have some asparagus continue to grow even if I do lose these plants. And I actually think that there's an asparagus seedling popping up in a Thai basil pouch. I started off with some plants I saved from one of these beds over here, that one there. So yeah, we will have asparagus, but these beds may be done for unless I can get the curl grub under control. Over here we have the broccoli. We pretty much will let this broccoli go. We have nipped off a few flowers and bits and pieces, but as you can see there's a fair bit of bee action. In the last couple of days we've seen our first native bees on here. I don't know if they're coming from our hives or somewhere else, but there's probably about half a dozen of the small little black native bees flying around there, plus the ever-present European. So I'm pretty happy with letting something like this go to flower, even though we are missing out on food. We could be eating it ourselves. It means the insects have something to forage on through the cooler months. So these guys have already set a fair few seed pods. They're not the sort of seed I'd collect to grow plants for heads, but what I would do with them is grow them to get sprouts, or maybe a chicken forage or something like that, because we're going to get thousands of seeds from this plant here. Actually there's 3 plants in there that have gone to seed. You can probably see up here that we're starting to get some aphid action as well, and on some of the other flower heads too. I did notice a couple of ladybugs out the front yard the other day, so hopefully they'll find these guys and knock them on the head and get them under control pretty quickly. I just noticed down in there's another outbreak just on this stem here over the back, and just here as well. So yeah, I might have to help the ladybugs along by cutting down the numbers a little bit. But yeah, overall pretty chuffed with just the number of bees and pollinators we've seen around this. Seen a few hoverflies and lacewings as well. In the next bed down here is the squash from the mow or not to mow clip. I still haven't got back to answer comments on that. Sorry folks, I will get around to it, but it's doing fairly well. The vine has taken off, as you can see. There's a couple of more leaders that have formed on it, and the ones that have come up here, it's going to get a bit glary folks, but it's doing rather well, the main leader. It's facing the wrong way though. I'm going to try and turn it around and get it to grow across here, just because I can, no other reason really. There's a couple of leaders that are going across over the back, and I'll try and get those to go up there and then along the fence. And what I'm going to try and do is, just like a tomato, keep it down to probably 3 leaders and just see if we get any fruit from that. Otherwise it'll just take over the front lawn again. Down here you can probably make out that the Thai basil is starting to bounce back. We've got a little bit of greenery down there, and on this plant here got a few green shoots down there, so it looks like these Thai basils have successfully wintered themselves. I think maybe cutting them back did help a little bit. Next bed over here is cauliflower. We've taken 2 cauliflower out of this that bolted to flower very quickly. There's this one down here, and there was the one next to it. I've just left the greenery in there. I probably should pull them out. But this one here, just to show you, is a green cauliflower. The plants that went in here were from a mixed punnet. There was yellow, green, white and purple. So that's the green. Just looking at the leaves on this one, I have a feeling that it may be a purple-headed cauliflower. And this one down here, I've already had a sneak peek, and I know it's a white one. So yeah, a bit of a different selection. I'm pretty happy that we're going to be getting a bit of a late flush on the brassicas, because early on, yeah, we didn't have a very good brassica season, just mainly to my own mishaps and misfortune. Still fairly bug free. We're starting to see a few little chew marks on them, so I might get out here with the dipel and just give them a preventative spray, and hopefully that'll just keep any aphids off of them. Over the back here I did plant out some, where are we? There we go, some giant sunflowers David brought around. Thank you very much, David. David grows commercially for cafes and things like that and markets, and he had a couple of sunflower sprouts that got a little bit too leggy, so I got a whole heap of them. Unfortunately, I think that's pretty much all the only one that survived in that bed there. And there's a couple dotted around, I'll show you in a tick. These are the Sugarloaf cabbages. They've done fairly well. Bug wise, I haven't seen any problems with them, and they're starting to form up, and they're growing true to type. The last load of the conical Sugarloaf cabbage I bought and planted out ended up being a ball cabbage, so there was a stuff up there at the seedling supplier place. The green beans along the front here are starting to put on a bit of a show flower wise, and you can probably make out the first little baby green bean there. So I'll probably give these guys a liquid feed in a couple of weeks, just to, you know, give them a bit of a kick. There was the organic chicken manure that went in there when both of these beds were planted out. Unfortunately, the compost from the cage that I added in hasn't proven to be the best in other beds and bags that I've used it in, so I might have to continually give these guys a bit of a liquid feed just to keep them going. We'll wait and see how they go. Over in this bed here, more of the beans are putting on a bit of a show, and we've got a couple of volunteers coming through. I'd say this is either a Werrikawai tomato or a, what was the other one? Summertime Gold, one of the dwarf varieties. They've both got potato style leaves, and I've seen a few pop up in the beds out the front here, so I'm just going to leave them for now, and I'll baby them, and if they turn out to be what I think they are, I'll leave them. These plants here are the purple cauliflowers. No heads on these guys as of yet, but yeah, it was a bit late in the season to even be planting them. We might just end up cutting off the greens and using them in stir fries and that sort of thing. We'll just wait and see. And over the end there, I still haven't topped up the taro bed with any compost, but I really should be getting to that soon. Hopefully, well, I suppose it's obviously warm enough now for the taro to put on a bit of growth, so I should probably get to it this weekend, if not earlier. And our bananas, well, they've pretty much all just been mulched with their own trimmings. I have put a little bit of compost in the center there, but as you can see, the leaves don't look that happy at the moment. But then again, you know, we are in winter. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain soon, and that'll give them a bit of a spurt, and we might see another flower or two emerge. Down here we've got the little wicking beds. We might come around the other side for them. Just down here in my little wicking garden, made up of a couple of barrels and a bath, This down here is the Chinese yam. Brad sent me a couple of little bits and pieces and it's grown rather well. There is a sizable little tuber down in there, a bit hard for you to see. Then we have also gotten a few of the little air potatoes that it provides. These guys here are edible. There are varieties that you can't eat. These guys here are edible. I chose not to though, mainly because I thought I'd just see if they'd germinate and sprout by themselves, maybe give them away to a couple of local people. The reason I've got a pot inside a root pouch is at the time I didn't have any of the larger ones and I just wanted a lot of depth because I saw that the yams can actually grow rather long. So I'm waiting for things to warm up a bit and that should take off again. Down here in the wicking bathtub we have 3 pouches. In this front one here we have some oregano, sort of looking a little bit sad at the moment. I don't know if that's a weather thing or just because the soil in there is pretty dodgy. It's made out of the compost I wasn't too happy with. Some of the Malabar spinach, the coral eye gave me seeds for, thank you very much coral eye. They're taken off. They didn't do fantastically well, but then again I put them in too late in the season. But it looks like we're going to get some volunteer plants popping up in there from the seeds they've dropped. The next bag here has some basil. This basil, I dare say, has dropped seeds all the way down through there. I haven't bothered saving any because there is a high chance it's probably crossed with this green basil that's right next to it. I'm pretty much just going to remove both of these plants because these pouches, as I said, they haven't done the best with the compost mix that was in there, so it needs filling up and topping up with something a bit better. Down in here I have 2 of the sunflowers David gave me. They haven't really put on much growth, and that's just a symptom of pretty poor soil down there. And this is some Brazilian spinach. I started off as a cutting from the aquaponics and it's done pretty much better than anything else that we've popped in these pouches out the front here. We haven't picked many leaves off it, just 1 or 2. Over here is the Hawaiian sunshine purple sweet potato. It really needs to be harvested very soon. I have had a bit of a dig around there and I haven't felt any tubers, so I'm actually not holding out much hope for a decent harvest out of there. Again, just the wrong compost mix I think, so lesson learned. Bit of a dud season, but there are things like these guys, the honey snap peas that have decided to put in a late running that we're pretty happy with. We've had quite a lot off this plant. We took our meals worth off last night. Well, it's actually 3 plants in there. Took a meals worth off last night and it looks with it like in a couple of days we'll have another load. This pouch wasn't doing very well like the rest of them along here, so what I did was put a fairly heavy nitrogen based fertilizer in there, the chicken pellets, and these plants look to have bounced back nicely. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way they've gone. I don't think they're going to last much longer though, just being in this position. As you can see, full sun, they will start to get affected by the heat. Straighten the camera up. They will start to get affected by the heat pretty soon. Just behind us here we have the pigeon pea. The pigeon pea's in flower again, starting to get loads of flowers on, and we have some peas set already. We actually have the last flush of peas still on here. I really do need to take them off. I've been coming out and picking them off and giving them away to people for them to start their own plants as they need them. A lot of new growth coming in on there. These plants here are coming on to 4 years old, I think, from memory, maybe 4 years old. So they are a plant in our climate. We can just grow semi-perennially. There will be a point where they just die off totally. Just thought I'd give you a bit of a closer look at these flowers. They are a very spectacular flower. Some of the plants are just straight yellow and some of them have the red on the back of the flower. So these guys here, they're pretty much all just grown in front of a compost pile. It's just basically everything from the front, lawn clippings and parts of the beds out the front there. It just gets piled up in here, and eventually when we get the earth moving equipment in to do the renovations and raise the house and all that, I'll get them to spread the compost in a bit of a pile just around the base of the banana over there, and that'll hopefully act like a bit of a mulch but also feed the ground. It's definitely not being turned, so it's not turning into anything fantastic. So far it's just been providing habitats for lizards and things like that. So yeah, there's a bit of a look at the front patch. So after a pretty dismal start to the brassica season, looks like we might end up with a little bit of a harvest at least from those cauliflower out the front here. I don't think we'll get much from the purple variety, mainly because in previous years I've noticed if it heats up a little bit too early, we don't get the nice tight head formation on them, and they start to split off and form flowers fairly early. So we might just have to harvest them early and maybe use the greens in a stir fry or something like that. The beans I was going to plant in with the squash. I've changed that idea. I'm going to make up some carrot paper with some carrot seeds and plant that out in there after I dig through some sand, just to loosen up the soil mix a bit. The asparagus in the beds behind me here, hopefully they'll bounce back after I give them a bit of a treatment, fingers crossed. The little seedlings that I showed you to begin with, they will end up in a small root pouch somewhere, and there'll be a bit of an insurance policy if I end up killing these crowns, so you'll have to tune in for future updates to see how those guys go. I do hope that you've enjoyed the clip, and if this is the first time you've seen one of our videos, you can click on that little subscribe button up there, and YouTube will send you an email whenever we upload a new clip to YouTube. You can come along and say your day down in the comment section below if you feel like it. I do hope everyone is well and happy and your gardens are booming, and I will catch you next time. Cheers folks. The little boost they need as the truck goes by. Noisy buggers.